Hello and welcome to Clay to Canopy, the show where I attempt to make just about everything from the ground up. And welcome to week 16 of the Don't Wake the Dragon build series. Alright, today is December 4th. I took a break last week. Ooh, bit of a dry morning. To say last week or the past couple weeks were stressful would be an insane understatement. The glass, again, had more issues. I literally could not do anything else. Mentally, I was drained and needed the week to just deal with trying to get the last of the glass through. Last time I left off with having that one load where the glass was so-so, half of the glass fired, and I still had another half of the glass to get through. From that point on, I thought I was returning to what would have been a completed kiln. Unfortunately, both kilns were not functioning properly. The one kiln that was the backup kiln, I already knew was not functioning properly, which was why I never tested that kiln in the first place. Then the one that got damaged basically ended up in the same condition as the one that was faulty to begin with. So what was happening is that I would get maybe one shelf out of the 4 shelves that would be successful, maybe 2, maybe the top 2 where the heat was radiating and holding, and the rest of the shelves, even though it was packed full of furniture and the glass was in it, it was just not able to reach the proper temperature, and I was getting this insane uneven firing. Essentially, I had to fire each one of those firings just to get 2 panels each time. So I had about half done. I had about 8 left to do, which meant 4 additional firings last week in time frame that I was not expecting to be dealing with this because I was supposed to be done at Thanksgiving break. A buddy of mine was on campus and said that one of the kilns failed. This is before I had switched it out. This was the backup kiln. I should have trusted my instincts. I made the mistake of opening the kiln too soon, didn't wait for it to come under 200. In my head I was thinking, well, he said it shut down, therefore it never could have reached that temp, and maybe there's, the gauge was off. I opened the kiln and I cracked 2 pieces. I mean, it looked fine. Well, when I opened them and checked them, I'm like, okay, I can come back and deal with this. But when I returned a couple days later after it had fully cooled, 2 of the pieces had cracked and shattered. So I was stuck in a position where I either had to try and refuse those 2 panels back together or try and remake them all together. So what I elected to do was to fire those pieces back up, wedge them together, put in pieces of scrap glass to get it to fuse, and I left the cracks. So basically I have these 2 pieces, and actually I needed to check them anyway. I gotta find a safe place to keep these. In the night, I heard one of the cats on my desk where I was storing these. I heard stuff fall, and I don't know if he knocked stuff over or cracked the glass, which I don't know. I don't even know what I would do at this point because I'm so over dealing with this glass. So I open these up to make sure, and then that way I can show you where the crack was. Let me get it open first. Alright, so yeah, this one made it fine. Hopefully you can see that on camera. There is a crack running through here. That's where it was. I butted them up against each other, fused it back together. Some funkiness happened with this piece too. The problem was that in order to get this glass panel to refuse back together, I had to take it up a higher temperature than I was for the others. So I did get some devitrification on the green glass, so I have a bit of the white haziness. The other one's worse than this. This one's actually not nearly as bad. I do want to check that one anyway before these get packed up and put away. Oh, let's check it. Alright, this crack you can see much more. It's there. I don't know if you can catch that on the camera, but it's gonna stay. And I realize it's only 2 panels, but at this point I kind of feel like this is the process and these are the scars. These are my dragon scars. These are her story. This is what she's been through. And I could very easily go ahead and, a couple weeks from now when things have calmed down and I've had space away, I could make 2 pieces. I do have extra bits to throw on with the green glass, but I think that it's necessary to keep her scars in. I don't want to have perfectly clean glass in there if it means not talking about the struggle. It's not going to be a structural damaging thing, and I feel like it highlights her journey. The journey of this dragon, the journey of what's been happening, and I don't want to take away from that. I think that that is probably just as important in honoring and seeing as anything else in this piece. It's kind of like the Japanese pottery where when it breaks, they re-glue it back together and they fill it up with gold and highlight the cracks to tell that story. And I want to leave that. That's where I am right now. Maybe 6 months down the road when this thing's finally fully together and I have starting to put together the interior and get it furnished, it might bug me, and maybe I'll replace it then. Nothing I do is just solely about just this studio and what I'm doing. All of it is like lesson plans. It's kind of a bummer all around. It's stalling this process. It's also stalling my students. Having like a wrench thrown into the system like this just kind of screws up a whole bunch of things. And all of it's completely out of my control. Yeah, it's a bummer. Anyhow, I did not get to finish cutting out the dragon head parts. I think that's my goal for today. Sometimes I just need to like smell sawdust and be listening to either music or an audiobook and just be out here working with my head down and having sawdust flying around me in order for me to like get refocused and regrounded. So, just a quick update on the dragon itself. It's damp out here. The rain has been coming, and so I haven't really made any kind of moves with wanting to touch any of this. I really can't start assembling the body of the dragon until I have all the parts. The dragon itself is going to be higher than the tent, so I need to make sure that it's going to be completely waterproof. I will be assembling it down on the ground, but I don't have enough of it constructed to where I can get it fully assembled quickly. And by quickly, I mean like, within a matter of a couple weeks. And then I was waiting for the whole glass situation. So basically, I haven't touched it. Behind me right here is the body, and it's still leaning up against the base. And I have it rigged so that all of the tarp is there so that if it needs to, get pounded with rain, I'm okay right now. I'll take the camera around in a minute and show you the inside. I think that my ultimate plan is going to be to focus on getting this head done. And I think the head I probably will be able to fully resolve with all of the fabric bits before I go ahead and attach it to the body. I've been watching the show Making Fun, and they do a lot of resin stuff and surface resin, and I think that I might be able to control a little more of the surface when it goes over the fabric, as long as I get a decent heat gun. That will be on the rise. Anyhow, alright, let's take a look at what's behind the tarp just so you have an update of what's going on out here. So I got the base out here and it's tarped up. I got one big tarp down the one end, and then I have some drop cloth on the back end, and then I have the body leaning up against the base, and it seems to be pretty dry. I do have this side open, but above this side is actually an awning on top of the house, so I don't think that it's much a problem right now. It seems to be okay. So I'm going to be cutting down some of this with the jigsaw. I want to get it secured. Oh! I really don't want it to hit the ground today because it's wet down there. Bubba, what's going on? Go sit on your chair, baby. Go ahead. Mom's gonna make noises. Come on. Oh, don't bite, Mama. What are you doing? Wow. Moody Broody, you've been so moody for days. Now you're outside, all right? You're here. Stop being so moody. Worst. Alright, all the pieces of the head are finally cut, and here they do need a sand, but it is after 3 and it is raining, and I'm a little burnt. Cutting wood takes a lot out of me, and I think I need to not push too much because I don't want to end up getting sick. I wasn't feeling 100% and I don't want to really push my luck. So I'm going to call it for tonight, and then I will be out here tomorrow, hopefully sometime in the afternoon, to sand up things and maybe start assembling some of these parts. We shall see. Alright, y'all, it is Monday. It's around 12 o'clock, and I'm trying to figure out how I want to proceed. I'm not feeling like I want to go through sanding each and every one of these at this moment. I'm kind of feeling like I want to maybe just sand each set as I go, and I'm thinking I start with just the small sections. So if looking at the model, let's get you over here. I have grouping of 1, which is the nose, and I think I'm going to start with that. That just seems the most logical way. It's the way I assembled it using those numbers. I'm feeling like I want to try and see what happens when I zip tie it together without dealing with brackets. I think that because this is coming together in a round, that not having the brackets might actually just pull it all together and not have to like go through the trouble of putting those in. I'm hoping that's going to be the case, because if it is, then I can move a heck of a lot faster and may be able to get this assembled much sooner, knock on wood. Every time I say that, it's like famous last words, and the crap hits the fan around here and all hell breaks loose. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna just sand up sections 1, see where that gets me. I don't know. I'm gonna do stuff. I'm just gonna do stuff. Ooh, I have a block. Some sandpaper. This place is a mess. What else is new? I'm not going crazy on the sand because I'm going to eventually have to re-sand. I just want to break down any of the edges that got like flyaways from cutting. Rough edges. I don't know what they're called. Today's not the day to make me think. I gifted myself a cheese advent calendar, and I'm incredibly happy and excited to be eating different cheeses for, it's 12 days. So I decided that instead of doing 12 days where you start after Christmas, especially because the expiration date is in January, I was going to start at the beginning of the month and just do one cheese every 2 days to do and keep it in time with my other advent calendars that are 24, you know, the regular 24 day. Anyway, I got that, and I got a jelly one. So the jelly is also 12. So I bought some crackers today thinking I have, like, you know, the cheese and jam. The jam. And then I was thinking of the Jelly of the Month Club.
It's a 1-year membership in the Jelly of the Month Club.
Oh, God.
Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
That it is, Edward. That it is indeed.
It's December, right? So I'm having those, like, December Christmas movie vibes right now that I should be indoors watching Christmas movies, but instead I'm here. But that's all right, because, you know, we love what we do here. All right, I am trying to, I don't know why that matters. Just thought I'd share. You know, love me with some cheese. Okay, this is going this way. No, this is this shape. And if that's that shape, then that's this. All right. I'm doing this way because I want to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. If I fold it over on the edge that it needs to join with, then I can drill through 2 at the same time, and they're automatically aligned. I'm gonna number these because things could easily get out of hand. We're gonna call you 1 and 1. Oh no, we're gonna call you 2 because this should be 1 and 1. Probably tell you I started a new medication today that possibly makes me dizzy and apparently a bit loopy because so we are not gonna attempt to do anything with heavy machinery today at all. We are just gonna drill only and maybe some epoxy, maybe. We'll see. The other thought I had was to not stitch and glue and to just using the tucked tape. So we'll see how this goes. I'm thinking I might need to use this zip ties just to get everything in place before I can even tuck tape. Because I mean, I feel like I need it secured wherever the heck it's gonna land before the tuck tape happens. But you know. Alright, let's get you a little closer to the action. Alright, I was hoping that eating something would help, but I am a little bit lightheaded and dizzy at the moment. I don't know if it's the new stuff or if it's just the way I've been feeling, because I've been kind of a little bit foggy, lightheaded for a few days. That being said, I don't know how much more I'm going to last out here. I'm going to attempt to drill holes for number 2, the next layer up after this one, because that's going to need time to dry before I can touch it, and see where that gets me. I stuck the tip of the nose out in the sun. I don't think it's set up yet, but I'm going to check it. I can't move forward with this till I have that piece. Otherwise, I'm going to be dealing with having to make brackets, which I don't want to do. Would actually be less exertion if I just waited for the one part to solidify, and then I can attach that to this. It's wonky weather right now. It's even though the sun came out for a little bit, it's still really cold here, so set time is going to be a while, even though this is the fast hardener. Yeah, I definitely want to get this solidified first. It's still fragile and I should stop messing with it. I think it's just going to set overnight, and in my case actually 2 nights, because this is it for today. Tomorrow I gotta work still. Got about a week and a half left of school. So I'm thinking I want to go get lost in the woods for a couple days, and I might do that midweek next week. So I don't think I'm going to have a studio week that week either. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hello y'all, it is Diana from the future, or in your case, the not so distant past. It is March 18th in my world, but it is sometime in December in your world, and hopefully behind me, no spoilers, there's a dragon head, maybe a dragon head behind me. Anyhow, I was editing week 16 of this series and realized that it is a whole crap ton of footage and I need to break it into 2. So this is going to be the end of week 16 part 1. And I'm trying to keep all of the vlogs going forward 20 minutes or less. I don't want to do any more of the half-hour long vlogs. I think they're a bit much. It's really hard for me to deal with those in editing, especially right now with the craziness of school and all I have going on, and some other trials that come, which I will not reveal. No spoilers here. I hope all is going well with you here in the start of spring. Please like, share, and subscribe if you have not done so already. Stick around to watch the second half of week 16. And remember, don't wake the dragon.